Everybody's talking about my tight pants. I got my tight pants. I got my tight pants on. Good morning, obstacle course racing friends. Matt Mosman, the Chief Endurance Officer over at EndurElite, here today to talk to you about compression garments. Now, as an obstacle course racer, it makes a lot of sense to wear tight-fitting compression garments. They're less likely to snag on obstacles. You're not going to come out of a water pit looking like you're wearing a soggy diaper. And overall, it just highlights the super sexy body you have from putting in all the hard work training for your races. Now, beyond those things, what we're going to explore today is if compression garments actually have any positive impacts on recovery and performance. So first, what we're going to do is we're going to look at what kind of these compression garment companies claim them to do, or what the media has said what compression garments do, and then we'll see if the research matches up with the claims they're making. Now, full disclosure here, I'm turning 40 tomorrow, and I have my computer screen in front of me right now, and I'm going to be referencing this throughout the video because the old noodle it's not working really good today, and I need a little assistance. So, let's take a look at first what some people are claiming compression garments do. And this is mostly from a recovery and performance aspect. Now, in terms of recovery, the most common claims are that compression garments can help with the removal of waste products. It can increase local blood flow. It can reduce delayed onset muscle soreness. It can reduce the concentration of creatine kinase, which I'll explain what that is in a minute. And it can decrease muscle vibration. So that's in terms of recovery what they're claiming. Now, in terms of performance, they're saying that it can increase joint awareness, increase muscle oxygenation, increase skin temperatures, which is important because it makes the blood a little bit less viscous and easier to flow to working muscles, and that it can reduce the perception of fatigue. So that's the claims the media and these compression garment companies are making. Now, does this actually link up with the research that has been done on compression garments? And there's actually, surprisingly, been quite a few done on compression garments, and honestly, it's really a mixed bag of results when it comes to the actual research done on this. And in some of the studies, they're just very poorly run and there's a lot of inconsistencies. But on the other hand, there are some solid research studies done on compression garments, and that's what we're going to really talk about. So let's cover what the research says on recovery first. So one of the claims is that the compression garments will reduce the inflammatory response after exercise. And they think this happens is because when you wear a compression garment, it reduces the space the muscle has to swell. And the research actually backs this one up quite a bit. There was a big meta-analysis done, which is a review of a bunch of different papers on compression garments, that actually showed that compression garments do reduce the inflammatory response. Now, is this a good thing? You know, I don't know. Like we've talked in other videos that sometimes we want the inflammatory response to occur to allow adaptations to exercise. So, you know, is that a good or bad thing to reduce the inflammatory response? I don't know for sure, but it looks like compression garments do that. It also looks like the research agrees that compression garments can reduce the amount of creatine kinase after intense exercise. Now, creatine kinase is it's a biomarker of muscular damage. So after an intense exercise session, muscles are damaged and concentrations of creatine kinase are elevated in the blood. And what the researchers think compression garments do here is it activates almost like a muscle pump, so it clears that creatine kinase out faster so your muscles can recover a little bit quicker. Now that's kind of the majority of the research as it relates to recovery on those two aspects. It decreases the inflammatory response, and then it decreases creatine kinase concentration in the blood. Now, what about from performance aspect? The research definitely is not quite as strong here. The one study that I did find, and I'm going to reference this here quick, it says, one study showed that the use of compression garments improved the oxygen cost of running approximately 9% at velocities of 10, 12, 14, and 16 kilometers an hour. So that's good. it also showed that, and this is more than likely the reason it would increase performance. That first one I'm not so sure about that I just mentioned, but more than likely why compression garments do have the ability to actually increase performance during a race is that, let me check here real quick, it can increase muscle coordination and the propulsive force during running. So it just basically improves muscle function and gives you more power with each footstep or whatever you're doing, whether it's on the legs and the arm. Now, there's also some effects on performance that compression garments can reduce muscle oscillation, or basically muscle vibration. And by reducing this, it's thought to reduce muscle fatigue and tissue damage, according to the research study I'm looking at here. And then kind of the last one from a performance perspective is that compression garments reduce the perceived exertion, or how hard exercise feels. Now this might just be a placebo effect. You know, you put on your compression garments, you're feeling like a total badass, and you just really get after it, and the exercise seems easier. So looking at the recovery and performance aspects of compression garment, it seems like they're more useful in terms of recovery, and maybe, just maybe, they might increase performance through those three different variables I just discussed earlier. Now, let's make the take-home point of this video right here. Do compression garments work? Yeah, maybe, maybe not. Do they hurt anything? It doesn't appear so. So, you know, beyond the practical reasons that I mentioned at the start of the video, as far as why obstacle course racers choose to wear compression garments, you know, not snagging on things, not getting waterlogged, and things like that, that's reason enough to actually wear the compression garments during your race. But beyond that, you may also get the recovery benefit, and you may also get the performance benefit. I think the one caveat though with all these research studies is it's, you know, whether you get those performance enhancing effects or whether you get those recovery effects is really going to depend on the compression gradient of these certain garments, which are so varied between companies. So you have these research studies that are examining, you know, the compression gradients and analyzing that, but that might not be the case with another compression garment. So that's where it kind of gets a little complicated. So what I would say, like, if you found a compression garment that really works well, or it feels like it increases your recovery or your performance, just stick with that. I wouldn't look too much into the research on this quite yet. But again, if you want to try them and you feel like it gives you a boost, by all means go for it. It's really not hurting anything at all. So that is about all I have today, my obstacle course racing friends. If you have a buddy that likes to wear skin-tight clothes, please share this video with them. If you want other videos on obstacle course racing, training, nutrition, etc., subscribe to our EndurElite YouTube channel or head over to the EndurElite blog at www.endurelite.com. Get social with us on Instagram and our Facebook Training and Nutrition Club page. And until next time, stay fueled, stay focused, stay fast, and stay informed.